see the best of the best in women's and men's team competition. But only one women's team and one men's team will be crowned national champion. The emotion, the drama, the excitement, the pressure, the love of the game. It all gets put on the line at the 1997 Intercollegiate Bowling Championships. Next.
It's the 1997 Intercollegiate Bowling Championships. We're at AMF North Kansas City Pro Bowl in North Kansas City, Missouri. Hi everyone, I'm Jan Schmidt. I'll be bringing you this championship along with former Team USA coach Fred Borden. Fred, these players here created enough electricity today to power this entire telecast.
Yes, Jan, this is true team playing. This is where player 1 bowls frame 1 and frame 6. Player 2 blows 2 and 7, and then they add up the 5 player scores, making one team score. True team bowling. Whether they're playing for the football championship, the basketball championship, the national championship of bowling is on the line, and these players want to take this title home to their university or their college.
It should be a great championship, and when we're done today, you will know who the women's and men's team champions are. But there's going to be an added bonus today. We're going to have feature reporting. Let's meet those reporters. It's Stacy Pates and Carlos Diaz.
Thanks, Jan. You know, Carlos and I have been here all week long, and we are just having a blast. And amidst all of this excitement, we've gotten into it that much more. We've gotten the shoes. Check this out.
That's right, Stace. It's got to be the shoes. And by the luck of the draw, I've been covering the ladies all week, and Stacy's been hanging with the guys. And we've got some really interesting reports and stories for you throughout the show. But I guess what you really want to know is who won the semifinals. On the women's side, Erie Community College faced off against West Texas A&M. In the first of 2 games, Erie Community College started the match strong with a quick strike from Janet Pyzinski. In the second and third frames, Tiffany Saunders and Julie Locke were, well, locked in. They both got back-to-back strikes. Not to be outdone, Erie's Stephanie Long and Kelly Simi struck in their 8th and 9th frames to overtake West Texas A&M by just 5 pins. In frame 10, Erie's Kelly Rapp picked up this spare and finished out game 1 for a total of 177. Michelle Malley of West Texas A&M closed out with a strike and a spare to finish with a 173 team total. So heading into game 2, Erie led by just 4 pins. But don't forget, the winner is decided by total pinfall for both matches. In the second game's second frame, Erie's Dina Fields made this great spare. We have got to take another look at this. West Texas A&M failed to convert their spare in the bottom half of frame 2, causing them to play catch-up the rest of the way. Erie was relentless the remainder of the match with a strike or spare in every frame but one. West Texas A&M's Tiffany Saunders and Julie Locke managed strikes in their 7th and 8th frames to stay alive. In the 9th frame, on the second ball, Erie's Kelly Simi picked up this awesome spare, sealing their berth into the final round, defeating West Texas A&M 347 to 328.
The men's semifinal was a clash between 2 state schools, Indiana State versus Saginaw Valley State. In Game 1, Indiana State left the first frame wide open. Scott Dillon failed to convert on his spare, while Saginaw Valley State's Robert Eddy picked up his to give the Cardinals the early edge. As the 2 teams battled frame by frame, Saginaw managed only 1 strike, but did convert a spare in every frame. Indiana State, playing catch-up, pulled 3 strikes and a spare to gain momentum, but left frames 3 and 7 wide open. In the 9th frame, Saginaw Valley State's Lonnie Jones picked up his spare to ice game 1 with a 180 to 159 final score. Game 2, Saginaw Valley State started strong as Robert Eddy, Carrie Bach, and Jason Lewis struck on their first ball to take an early 21-pin lead. Indiana State rallied as well, coming in on frames 3, 4, and 5 as Matt Hancock, Jason Hiddle, and Scott Scheimer struck consecutively, and by the end of the 6th frame, had cut the Saginaw lead to 10. Competition became really interesting in the 7th frame, as Carrie Bach, who had consistently spared or struck the whole day, left the frame open, and Indiana State's Richard Rich took advantage and got this spare to tie up the game at 141. But for the remainder of the match, Indiana State had 3 straight splits, handing the win to Saginaw Valley State with a final score of 389 to 327. So here are your matchups for the women's finals. Located in Lincoln, Nebraska, the University of Nebraska, with Kimberly Claus, Jennifer Doherty, Brenda Edwards, Kim Ferris, and Jennifer Larson. They're coached by Paul Klempa. They will be taking on the ladies from Erie Community College in Buffalo, New York. Stephanie Long, Janet Paizinski, Kelly Rapp, Tammy Schmidt, and Kelly Simi. They are coached by Ken Duke. And in the men's finals, we'll see West Texas A&M University from Canyon, Texas. Travis Brown, Brandon DeVore, Anders Kopa, Robert Spence, James Thomas, and Aaron Walsh. They're coached by Donald Manzel. They'll be taking on Saginaw Valley State University from University Center, Michigan. Carrie Bach, Al Campbell, Robert Lee Eddy, Lonnie Jones, Jason Lewis, and Brian Wallachek. They're coached by Dan Dorian. Jan Schmidt and Fred Gordon will be back with the start of the women's finals here in Kansas City for the 1997 Intercollegiate Bowling Championships.
We're ready to start the championship match. It's between Erie Community College and the University of Nebraska.
Janet Paizinski.
This team fought hard just to make it to this round.
Oh boy, what a grind it is to get to this championship match. This young lady's an academic All-American and quite a player.
Wow, what a way to start out in the championship match.
That pressure doesn't mean a thing when you're that young. You've got ice water in your veins. You just walked right up there and just swung it through and let it roll. Man, what a great shot.
You think so, really? The young people don't feel pressure?
They just don't feel it. They're bulletproof. I can't hardly remember, but you should still be able to remember that.
Let me think back. Here's our first good look at Jen Larson from the University of Nebraska. Real nice opening shot. Couldn't get the 10 to go.
See, she's playing a little deeper inside there, Jan, so the ball didn't quite turn the corner or flip hard enough to knock that 10 out, but she's elected to play in it because she knows she can hit the pocket better from that angle. When she gets out, her ball wanted to turn a little bit too early and hook through the nose, so she's elected to play deeper inside.
So everyone knows here, this is Baker's system. They're going to bowl. Nebraska will stay on lane 42 for the first game, and Erie will bowl on lane 41 the first game, and it'll be a 2-game total. They'll switch lanes for the second game.
Exactly, and then all 5 players, as we said at the opening of the show, equal 1-score game. Each one of them will bowl 2 frames.
Dina Fields. Boy, it's so tough to get up there and compete for a team.
Boy, the pressure builds. She got off the top of that one just a little bit, Jan, and that ball didn't quite make the roll that she was after, but you know, the condition this week's very demanding. You got to keep the ball on line, so she's probably purposely set her hand into a little bit of a weaker position. What you don't want to do this week is overloop the bowler ball. If you overloop it and over-arc it, you have all kinds of designs down there.
Now, you could run into a little trouble with chopping on this one.
Accuracy. Oh, see, and she knew it. She let it out a little too much.
See, that's guarding against chopping the 4-pin off. You actually don't even get up to the 4-pin.
Well, as you know, that's not a spare you shoot every day.
Here's Kim Claus from University of Nebraska. His team dominated through the entire competition. And again, like her teammate, Light. Our Carlos Diaz spoke with Kim earlier.
In basketball, they have the Rookie of the Year, and in bowling, they have the Player of the Future. And we have her right now. It's Kimberly Claus, and you were dubbed this earlier this year, the Player of the Future. Now, what is the official name of the award?
It's the Alberta E. Crow Star of Tomorrow.
Star of Tomorrow. Now, how do you get an award like that?
You apply just like any other scholarship. You know, you give a resume full of your academic and bowling accomplishments and hope for the best.
And your bowling accomplishments have been many.
Yeah, I've had some 700 series, a couple of perfect games.
These two teams competing here today have two of the greatest coaches and coaches that run programs in the history of our sport. So it doesn't surprise me that they're so good, you know. There's this team lineup from Nebraska. Very good stance here. Watch this ball pushing away on two, out, down, swings very level with the head, full arc, right up through. She just missed the fingers just a little bit, but that was an excellent shot. You see that balance too, Jim? That's really real good.
Here's Stephanie Long. Going up high. She was really pumped up in the match before.
And you notice she had a little more revolutions on the ball. That ball grabbed the lane and flipped. If you floated, it's very temperamental at the bottom of the swing, getting that thumb out of the ball clean and not over snapping your fingers. You want that clean, free roll on this condition.
And she went over and grabbed another ball to shoot her spare here.
It looked like she bounced it off her ankle, Jen. It looked like she hit her ankle and bounced it off her ankle. Got her swing out away from her body. Contrary to what people think, they think that if you get the swing in, if you get it in, it'll miss your hip. So right at the bottom of the swing, see if you get that ball out away a little bit. Now it's out away. It pulls in, and it just clips her right there. Just clip the top of her shoe. See her look down?
It's Nicole Doan coming up light on lane 42.
You know what I like about the ladies, though, all week is they keep the ball on line. They keep the ball on play. More nines and strikes with the ladies, I have to say, than with the men's teams. And the gals, in a lot of cases, are out averaging some of the men's team because this is a condition for accuracy.
Nicole's just going to try to shoot straight at the spare. She actually hooks the ball a little bit. Through 3 frames right now, Nebraska has a 21-pin lead over Erie. Welcome back to the Intercollegiate Bowling Championships from North Kansas City Pro Bowl. We're in the first game of the women's championship match. There's Brenda Edwards, the anchor bowler for University of Nebraska. Brenda had the high qualifying average of 213. Crossing over Brooklyn, she wasn't going to go light like the rest of her team.
She wasn't looking for 6 out on the right. She was going to jam it right in the pocket and it grabbed and snapped a little Brooklyn on her. But she got lucky. She got 8 out of that. See if she can fill up the frame, make the spares. Comes from a great bowling family, the Edwards family.
Converts that spare in the 5th. We're midway through this match now, and Nebraska has a pretty commanding lead of 32 pins. Janet Piezinski's up in the 6th frame for Erie Community College. It's her 2nd attempt during this match. She struck the first time up.
Threw a beautiful shot, didn't she? Let's see if she can do it again.
Coming high again. 6, 7, 10. We did see this picked up in the last match. Can we see it again?
See, she's very accurate, this young lady. That's why they have her on leadoff. She fills frames. Usually the coach will put the leadoff player on, especially when we play Baker bowling, the one that makes strikes and spares and throws the fewest amount of opens.
Because you don't want to get the team down in the very beginning.
Exactly.
That's something to build on.
Good, solid person up on top that throws a lot of marks.
Well, she gets the 2 pins, gets the wood. But they're going to have to make a big comeback toward the end of this game and into the 2nd game.
Well, you know, in this Baker play, with 40, 50 pins is nothing. When a team gets up and down, the momentum shifts great in Baker play. It's not as though you're playing for yourself, as you alluded to a little earlier. The
Right.
pressure of playing for your team.
Team is tough. Jen Larson stepping up again now. She left a 10 pin the first time up. And the coaches for Nebraska's team would be Bill Straub and Paul Klempa. Another set of fine coaches.
Great shot there. She just fed that ball right down the lane, all roll, no hook, just high flush in the pocket. Watch this shot come off her hand. It's all roll with no hook. It'll just stay right on line now, and it'll never take off left on her, but it's rolling very good. Watch it knock that 10 out on the corner. Look at that finish.
Dina Field is up in the 7th frame right now. Erie Community College is trailing by 46 pins. Fred, what can they do at this point?
Well, you know, this is the time when someone has to really look them all in the eye, and it's got to be one of them, not the coach at this point. The team has to come together and try to make a run for it. And it'll take something here that one of these players are going to have to react to fire this team up. They're jumping up there. Let's see what they do.
It'll be interesting to see how much the change of lanes will play in the outcome of this match also. Kim Claus up for her second time.
There's that shot, staying on line again. Staying on line without hooking the ball. It doesn't make that little flip on the backhand.
Nebraska's leading by 56 pins now through 7 frames. Nicole Doan. Okay, it looks like they're making their adjustments for coming light. Now they're actually coming up a little bit high. Fred, coaching is a big part of this collegiate program, isn't it?
Oh, the leadership, fundraisers. You know, a lot of these youth, they pay their own way to get here. Now, once they're here, everything's paid for. Their hotel room, the food, the banquets, the bowling, everything's. But they have to pay their own expenses. So a lot of the coaches, they have to do more than just coach the team. They have to run the program. It's a great, great responsibility.
Well, you know how much responsibility coaching is. You're one of the premier coaches in the sport. And I wanted to congratulate you, Fred, on winning the John O. Martino Award for bettering the sport over the years. You've done a lot for our sport. It's an honor to be working with you.
Thank you so much.
Look at Kelly Simi again. Still high. Boy, they haven't figured this lane out at all.
Yeah, you know, they know the oil's out to the right, Jen, so what happens in your mind, you know you can't throw it right, so you tug it a little bit left. And when you get that mindset, that's when you need some kind of a major change. You need to get out of that area, move to another area of the lane, change a bowling ball. You need to make a major adjustment.
That is a big key, because I try and tell the juniors that at home all the time. You know, if you're in an area where you have to be perfect, then you're not in the right place.
Exactly. We have to make the major change. There's 4 changes we can make. We can change the angle back and forth. We can change the equipment. We can change the way we release the rotation, or we can change the speed. Those are the 4 adjustments.
Well, Jen Vardy is going to be up in the 9th frame. She can really set Nebraska up to take a commanding lead this first game.
This is like the first half of football game. One team's blowing them away, but you never know what's going to happen that second half.
Big shot there. Now, Fred, after this 10th frame here, will the coaches get together? Will they try and plan a new game plan?
They sure will. Watch this ball again. Here's this roll without hook. It's what we call the free roll. The open hand release allows it to roll, smash 10 in the pit. Look at this excitement here. Watch these girls come up. There it is. Yes. We're going for the national championship here. Let's go.
Well, Nebraska was the number one ranked team right now, BWAA rankings. Oh.
See, she moved in, and then she also headlocked the ball, threw it over the head so that it wouldn't hook early, so the ball sailed. That's that ball that had a little force roll, and it's not that open hand release.
And she tried to make a move, though. She didn't want to keep coming high, but...
God bless her. Yes, she made the adjustment and didn't stand there and keep throwing the same shot.
And again, I want to reinforce how difficult it is when you only make 2 shots on one lane. That's it.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
think about it at home when you're bowling league. After 2 shots, are you lined up?
You're done. That's it.
Yeah,
The game's
I mean-
over. Great shot there. Oh, what a nice shot by that young lady. She says, I'm not giving up yet, Coach.
Kelly
Keep me in
Rapp.
here.
Right. Kelly, beautiful spare.
Look at this. Just perfect. This hits this thing domino fashion, throwing a Brooklyn on this condition to be the accurate. That is really saying something to this young lady.
Well, she has to save every pin right now because you never know what's going to happen in the next game.
You get lined up, the team gets lined up, throws a 4 or 5 bagger, the other team throws an open, all of a sudden it's you're back in the game.
Well, an opening score of 145 for Erie Community College. Fred mentioned earlier that Brenda Edwards comes from a bowling family. Carlos is with her sister Jerry in the stands.
The anchor for Nebraska is Brenda Edwards, and the anchor in Brenda's life is her older sister, Jerry Edwards. And Jerry, you've got a ton of bowling experience. What advice do you give to your sister when she comes into a tournament like this?
Well, in this case, her biggest key is to, when you give a lot of support to your teammates, when you step up to that line, you've got to drop all of that and be ready to make your shot. So you've got to have a lot of focus and concentration. So we're always glad when she makes good shots.
Obviously, she had the focus and concentration on that strike. But how does this differ from, just a regular game that she would bowl or another tournament?
Well, in this case, when you're bowling Baker, you have to really have good teamwork, and you have to communicate well with your teammates as far as making moves on the lanes and just keeping the energy between everybody going. And so it's real important to make your spares and fill frames because that keeps the emotion going.
Brenda distracted there for a minute, backed off the approach.
Got that presence of mind to do that at a very young age. A lot of us would have just jumped up and thrown the ball and gotten 6. So she said, okay, let me reset myself, go through my program, take my breath here, set my body now. A nice start.
Well, as you said, a big bowling background. Jerry Edwards, Kathy Zelke with Edwards. They are big bowlers, have been on tour.
Her father, John Edwards, has brought those kids up. Her mother and father are just great people. They've all college graduates, 4 of them. Ray Edwards, an engineer for a ball company. And it's a great bowling tradition, great bowling family. This young lady has great parents. She's a beautiful young lady. She's got a great bowling game. Plus, she's an academic All-American. She wasn't blessed very much, was she?
Final score was 214 to 145 for the first game. It's a 69-pin lead for Nebraska. Can they hold on to it, or will Erie fight back? Stay with us and find out. Nebraska leads by 69 pins over Erie Community College.
You know, Jan, something I think is interesting. These 2 teams, they have 2 players on each team that are the first team All-Americans. And both the gals on both teams are also academic All-Americans. So you've not only got good players, you've got people that do good in the classroom. You've got Brenda Edwards, she's an All-American in both categories. So is Jennifer Doherty, Kelly Rapp, and Janet Pasinski. I hope I didn't butcher Janet's last name. That's a good one, isn't it?
It's a tough one. Pasinski, I think.
Pasinski, huh?
Opening shot on the left lane. She came a little bit high. Now Jen was in the pocket both shots on lane 42, 10 pin and a strike. So she's close to the pocket on this lane. Maybe not a lot of difference, or maybe they made a move.
Hit that back end back there on the left side where very few bowling balls are thrown. So that's a clean area of the lane, so the ball wanted to hook.
Now look at that. She's going straight back and talking to her coach.
Yes.
She is telling him what's going on that lane, would be my guess.
Paul Klemke, the redheaded gentleman, and Bill Strops, they had a little strategy meeting there to clear her mind so if it happens again, she knows exactly what to do.
Janet Pasinski right now. Still high. Maybe there isn't much difference between the lanes. Maybe it's just the difference in how they're playing the lanes. Now for an interesting story, let's go to Carlos Diaz.
You're in a unique situation because you're going to a community college. So next year, you're transferring out of that college, and where are you going to be going to school?
At the University of Nebraska.
So you're competing against Nebraska right now. You're head-to-head with them, and next year, you're going to be a Cornhusker.
Yeah.
How unusual is that?
It's weird because you're trying to get to know them and want to see how their games are, and you're also trying to concentrate on your game and see what's going on and try and concentrate and make sure your team's bowling well at this tournament. It's different. It's hard.
What's interesting about this particular program here, they only have their players for 2 years. And then they move on, they go to another university. So for them to make the top 2 with only 2-year students, that's unbelievable. What a job they do.
And because they don't really have the time to build a team and build rapport and everything else.
Well, they lose them every 2 years.
And just a touch high for Kim Claus also. Kim was the second high qualifying average of the tournament with a 208.33 behind Brenda Edwards.
She can keep that ball on line and still get the good roll out of it. And, you know, we have a nice thing happening in our sport and coaching. Our National Collegiate Bowling Coaches Association working with USA Bowling. There's a partnership developed for coaching for the universities and for the young people across this nation. I think that's real exciting. I want to say congratulations to Fred Meters and the guys with the National Collegiate Bowling Coaches Association.
How about Junior Olympic coaching?
Wow, what a program. The Junior Olympic program is where we take young parents with the young children and teach the parents how to help coach their young people to become elite players.
That's needed. That's fantastic. Nice strike for Dina Fields.
There they are. They're jumping out. They still got the heart. They know. You know, win, lose, or draw. These people are nice competitors. They're great competitors. Right on line. Now, here's what we talk about, keeping the ball on line. See, the ball never hooks. It just rolls. Look at her. She's saying, yes, finally we got one. Yeah.
Nicole Doan coming up high, going actually almost crossing over Brooklyn for Nicole. Do you think that the Nebraska team, Fred, at this point might play cautious and try and protect that 69-pin lead?
Probably that's an instinct in all of us, isn't it? We get a big lead, then we sort of let up and roll and place the ball and say, oh, I just got to keep it in play. But you've got to watch doing that. It can bite you. If you're watching, all of a sudden a couple open, the other team gets loose, the momentum shifts. Well, right there's the key again. If they continue to fill frames, we call it make your spares, fill the frames, especially on a demanding condition. It's very difficult to throw 4 and 5 and 6 baggers on this condition. So if the team with the lead keeps making spares, they'll be hard to beat.
Stephanie Long with her first appearance on lane 42 in this match. Going for a double. Wow.
Yeah, hit that out of bounds there, 10 right. There's a big amount of oil out there. There's a big mountain of oil out there. And so when you hit it, say right here. Now, she didn't want to throw it quite that far right. Now, see there? Now it leaked out right to the right, hit the big mountain of oil, down the lane. It never turns over and rolls.
This could be a difficult spare.
That's why, you know, I wish the oil were blue, Jan. We could put the oil out there in blue, then we could see it. Our game, the invisible game.
Everybody to understand how difficult it is sometimes out there.
Wow.
An unfortunate open for Stephanie Long. Erie Community College, boy, they're really digging themselves a hole here with just 7 frames left. Jen Larson stepping up in the 6th frame with that comfortable 60-pin lead. They don't want to get too cautious, Fred, but they just want to keep the ball in play.
Need to fill frames. You can't do it any better than that. That's 10 in the pit. What a great shot by that young lady right there. They know right now with 2 more marks, if the other team strikes out off the board, they have won this national championship. How many people in the United States know what it's like to win a national championship for your university?
Not nearly enough.
That's for sure.
And here they come, Jana Pasinski, great shot. Saying, man, that should have been a double. We should have had a chance.
That's right. They'll relive these moments for years to come. When they get together and have their year of 97, the team of 97 get together, they'll relive every shot.
And here comes Nebraska making a great finish.
This is a great ladies team here, Jen. They've really got good players. They deserve to win the national championship. I think the team here is as good as I've seen at this level. With a bunch of young people making those adjustments, handling the pressure, they're really doing a nice job.
They were second place here last year by just 1 pin. Wash out. We've seen them pick these pairs up before.
When you get that ball to where it don't hook, that's when you turn your thumb in. You turn it down or you turn it in instead of keeping your thumb out toward the right wall if you're a right-hander. When you turn that thumb in or turn the thumb down, then the hand's on top of the ball, and when you go to the release, you get nothing on it. So that's what happened on that shot. You turned your thumb down instead of the thumb out. Well, that was going to hook, and see, now that's going to take off because she kept her thumb out on that one.
We'll wrap up the women's championship match at the Intercollegiate Bowling Championships in Kansas City after this.
Schmidt here with Fred Borden. We're in the championship match of the Intercollegiate Bowling Championships women's finals here at AMF North Kansas City Pro Bowl in the 8th frame. And unfortunately for Erie, they're trailing by 95 pins.
We've changed their name from the Nebraska Cornhuskers to the Buzzsaws. They are playing awfully well.
Nebraska's Jen Doherty up in the 9th frame with that 95-pin lead. Now down to 94 pins. It's over.
Really is. It's academic. Nebraska, the national champions, but what a year they have and what a team they have and a tradition with Bill Straub and that program. I can't say enough about the coaching that Bill has done and the fundamentals that he teaches his athletes. He's truly one of the great coaches, along with Gordon Vatican, Kern Helmer. We have great coaches across this land at the collegiate level.
And Tammy Schmidt is stepping up in the 10th frame. 9th frame actually for Erie. She's their 6th bowler, hasn't gotten bowling in these finals. It's nice that she gets a chance to go up there and make a shot or two.
National television, she sure earned it being a part of this team.
Tammy was the 1997 Female Rookie of the Year.
She's a great little player, and she's one of the younger players, so obviously they chose to go with the lineup that had a little more experience.
Well, when it's a team event, you have to play as a team.
Somebody's going to be on the bench because we always take 6 players. And Coach is smiling a little, saying, what else is going to happen here today? My God. Keep your chin up, Coach.
Look at Brenda. Look. You can just tell the pride on her face.
She's feeling it, isn't she?
Oh, pins falling everywhere. I'll tell you, when it's, like you said earlier, it's your day, it's your day.
Your day, yeah. You know, her sis, Jerry Edwards, one of the best female coaches in the world, one of the best coaches in the world. We have the opportunity to work with Jerry, but the whole family, I've never seen a family where they all are just so dedicated to becoming great at what they do.
Brenda covers the spare. And they're going to bring their 6th bowler out, Kim Ferris. And the crowd gives her a big hand. You know, it is harder to sit back there and cheer, I think, than it is when you have a hand in it, because you're going, come on, I want to help, I want to help.
Her nerves are going to be going 1,500 miles an hour right now. Just throw me in here all of a sudden, Coach.
Oh, I hope she strikes.
It'd be nice. Good.
Oh.
There it is.
Well, they have done it. Congratulations to the University of Nebraska. They are 1997 Women's Intercollegiate Bowling Champions.
Look at the emotion. Even their coaches are crying.
Oh, it's so exciting to win as a team.
I can't watch you, and they get me crying. I've been there a couple times, winning and losing, and that emotion runs pretty hot.
The final score of the Women's Championship is 398 to 295. Carlos has the winners.
Well, you're with a bunch of girls from Nebraska, and they've just won something called a national championship. And Jennifer, quite motivation from last year, losing by 2 pins, and now you're back this year. You've won it all.
Sure. It's a great feeling. It really hasn't set in yet, though. I had this incredible urge earlier, and now it's just kind of mellowed out, and I think it's going to hit me later on tonight.
Well, Brenda Edwards over here, you're the quiet one. Obviously, you're like the team leader.
You don't know me very well.
Obviously not. But you know, all tournament you were confident, but after the win, some tears were shed.
Sure. It was just it's my last tournament, and just we've worked so hard all year long. It was a great way to finish out a career.
Well, Nebraska is finally #1, and you guys can do a cheer if you'd like.
The men's championship match is up next. We'll be back with more of the Intercollegiate Bowling Championships after this.